Hello, YouTube fans. This is Dusker Clown. I recently watched Cruella. So I've been wanting to watch this for since it came out, and I was kind of intrigued from the trailer and everything like that. And some people commented on one of my videos saying that the movie shit or anything like that. I haven't watched it. I told them, but now I did. So what I think about the movie overall, to be quite honest, I might get some hate. I might get some hate. But to be honest, I didn't hate it. I couldn't bring myself to hate it. Emma was just having really fun as being Cruella, and also the little girl that was playing as Cruella. When she was just small. She did great too. And then I'm not gonna spoil the movie too much because if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I'm not saying you should pay the Disney Plus thing. You shouldn't. Wait till it goes on Disney Plus or find out another streaming service to watch it. That's why I did. Um, but this movie's not bad, to be honest. All their flaws. There's a flaw that I'm gonna bring out right now. The music. Some of the music fits with the movie, but then when it comes to hip hop and all that shit, and and other things that because there's another actress that's almost like Cruella, and you know how you see reviews of people will be like they basically have two Corellas because they couldn't do this, and in the story it makes sense if you watch the movie. Spoiler alert, maybe I should tell you it. Leave this video right now, so I might talk some spoilers. Good thing it's only a minute in. Alright, there will be some spoilers in a little bit. So if you haven't watched it, go and watch it before you watch this. If you haven't watched the movie of Cruella. So basically, the beginning of this movie is that um Cruella and her mom, yeah, I'm saying that right now in quotations. Her mom her mom wants her to, be right. Don't use the side of Cruella and everything like that. Obviously, her hair was born. She was born with black and white hair, basically. And then you see like a montage a little bit of the in the beginning of the movie how people like looking at her as a baby are like, oh my god, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's too bad and shit. And she always gets criticized when she was in school and shit, bullied in school and everything like that. But she always fought back and everything like that. Um, which is weird. I didn't see Corella kind of like being that type of character, but I'm actually glad that they showed it like that. Most people were like, "Oh, they're doing it because of women and shit." I'm like, I didn't really, to be honest, I didn't get that feeling. It didn't come off that way. You know what did came off that way? Endgame, when all the ladies came up and shit. Sorry, I'm sorry. It looked like they were like, "Yeah, we're so progressive and shit." I'm sorry. When I saw that Endgame with all the female coming in and all that shit, and then the female Iron Man coming in and everything. I'm sure that's awesome in the comic books and everything like that. I'm sure they did something like that in the comic books, but in the movie, it felt like I'm not talking about Cruella, but for Endgame, it felt like it was forced, and it felt like it was just doing it just because women. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, shut up. There's already fucking other women superhero movies that are doing justice than what you're doing at the end of Endgame, Marvel. I'm sorry. You can't have a cake and eat it too right there. That pissed me off in that movie. I was just like, you idiot. Stop acting like Ghostbusters 2016. You dumb motherfucker. And I thought this movie was going to be like that. But it wasn't. I thought this movie was going to be complete shit. I was prepared for it. I was prepared to get, to criticize the movie and shit. But to be honest, the actors that they got in this movie are not bad. They're really not bad at all. They what they're giving is fine. Again, some of the stuff could be better. Like again, it's just the soundtrack that I have bothered. Not the whole soundtrack of talking about Cruella and all that. Like at the end of the movie when when they sing Cruella's song and everything. That I don't care because it's her song. I'm just talking about like other things that you hearing when there's like a montage of her like showing up clothes and everything like that and upstaging the main fashion designer and shit like that. So basically, Corella's dream is basically just to be a fashion designer and shit like that. And the reason she doesn't really get along with Dalmatians is because her mom, quote unquote, got killed by Dalmatians. Literally pushed her off the cliff and shit and died. And I'm like, Disney! No, 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 no. There's a lot of violence and there's a lot of drinking in this movie. Which, to be honest, it's kind of refreshing refreshing. I hope you're watching this, Disney. I hope anyone that's from the Disney studios are watching this because that's actually kind of refreshing. There was a few point. Now, remember when I mentioned that the music could be a lot better, and I wish they used the music. Look, the soundtrack for the music that they used for the movie, I wish they used it because I'm trying to think of the movie of like what time does it take place in, and can you just use like, oh, I don't know, since the movie takes place in London, use London music. I'm sure there's great music in London that you can use for this movie, but no, you decided to use hip hop and other shit that's from the United States. What? 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 That's the one thing I complain about this movie, man. And then there's you know how people compare this to like the Joker movie and shit, which I was just like, guys, come on. You can't really complain about them now when they literally had all you can do is smile while literally her house is burning. And I'm listening to that song. It's a different version. It's a female version of it. And I'm just like, since it didn't have it in the Joker movie, they didn't have that in the trailer, but they didn't have it in the movie. Cruella Devilla is just like, no, we didn't have it in our trailer, but we definitely gonna have it in our movie. When I heard that thing, I'm just like, oh, in the movie, you're making this very hard for people to be like, fuck you, oh, I knew it, you know, like, you're making it very hard, movie. You're making it very hard. But Emma Stone, I hope I'm saying her name right. Emma does a great job. She's having fun with the character when she is full in body of Cruella. Like when she's talking to like the newspaper, when she's going to the headlines for the newspaper, to tell people that she's out there and shit. She is having so much fun in that scene. That in a way that's kind of funny. That kind of reminds me of the interrogation scene in Batman and Joker in the Dark Knight. Batman and Joker. Damn it! You see? Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! I didn't want this compared to Joker or anything like that, but damn it, movie, damn it, you made that shit happen, and a lot of people might criticize it for it. But to be honest, you did it in a way that wasn't Joker-ish, in my opinion. That's just me. That's just me. That is just me as a person that watched this movie that is a fan of Cruella de and everything like that. For crying out loud, one of my favorite movies as a kid was the 101 and 102 Dalmatians. I did watch the original animated series as a kid, obviously, but I watched the live action one a lot more. So obviously, the actress that played Cruella in those live action movies, I wanted her to make a cameo in this fucking movie. Like Emma Stone could just be walking by, then she passed her and be like, "Oh, hello, darling. You dressed nice." And like, "Oh, thank you, darling." Oh, she could have been the main villain. She could have been the main villain of this movie, and then it'd be like passing the torch type of thing. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. I don't know. Stupid concept, right? Stupid concept. But I just wish she was in it as a cameo, just to pay homage to like the 101 Dalmatian, 100 and Dalmatian live action series, But she wasn't there. So if they ever do a sequel to this, they probably will, because the way the movie ended kind of showed that they might have a sequel, mainly because she didn't do what she wanted to do. I'm going to kill you and your dogs. I'm like, Disney. Nah, 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 nah. I know I'm going to place here, people, but yo, man, I didn't hate this movie. I couldn't bring myself to hate this movie. I couldn't. There were things I was just like, eh. And the fact that she met Jasper and I forgot the other guy's name. I'm sorry. I have played the 101 Dalmatian, 102 Dalmatians game, so I don't know why I'm forgetting their names right now. I know there's Jasper and somebody else. I can't remember their names. Fuck me sideways, man. But you do get their origin story a little bit here in this movie too, how they met Cruella and stuff like that, which I'm just like, that's cute, in my opinion. They met as kids and shit like that. They'd met like adults or some shit like that. And there was a little hint of romance, a little bit, just tightly, which at that point of the movie, I was just like, stop it, movie, stop it. You were doing fine at first. You don't have to you don't have to have Cruella have a fucking romance or anything like that. She doesn't. At this point of the game, she shouldn't even be like that. To be honest, she should just care about is literally her clothing. All right, because that's who she is. You know. And I know this is origin, so it's slowly but surely of her getting to there, and you kind of see that. You kind of see that, And then when she appears and everything like that, when the when she appears and the main villain is looking at her, and she's like, she killed my dogs. Like she's wearing the Dalmatian clothes and everything like that. And when I first saw that, I'm like, when the movie pointed that out, I'm like, did she really kill the dogs? I know this is Cruella, but did they actually? The dogs are not with her, so they actually killed the dogs. I'm like, no, they didn't. So there's that. Still, movie still won't go full throttle of killing these dogs. Why? They're not part of nature. Yep, I said it. Oh, how dare you? Oh, whatever. Sorry if I speak a little bit of enlightenment right there. Oh, it's probably hard for some people to you know you know comprehend that. But maybe you should do your research. But moving on. And one thing too, in the beginning of this movie, when Cruella sees the Dalmatians as a little girl, and they run to her, and she runs. I'm just like, yeah, that is makes sense because Dalmatians don't like kids. They don't. For kind of loud, did you ever hear those things that when people saw the Dalmatian live action movies, they got them as pets, but they're kids. Why? Because Dalmatians don't fucking love kids. They're adult dogs. They're not for kids. If you want your kid to have a dog, get them a fucking Chihuahua or something like that. Don't get them a Dalmatian, or don't even get them a Pit Bull, or Rottweiler, or a Dalmatian, because those dogs would just be like, fuck that shit. Especially a Dalmatian, right? And Dalmatians, they really showed how ruthless the Dalmatian could be in this movie. I was just like, huh. For a moment there, you actually feel like, you know what? Yeah, you know what, Cruella? Kill these dogs. You did. You kind of felt that way a bit. Why? Because they killed her mom. They killed her mom. Mom. And I'll get to that right now. The main villain. You find out that the main villain is Corella's mom the whole time. That's why she was acting the way she's acting. Like, the main villain of the movie, you'd be like, why is she acting like Corella-ish? It's because that's Corella's mom. And they had, like, a little backstory showing, what happened to her and shit like that. Me and my friend looked at each other like, this is kind of deep. Like, it didn't have to go this way at all. Like, this movie could have just went balls to the wall fun, not giving a fuck about Cruella at all, but they actually did a structure of her backstory and the structure of how she hated Dalmatians a little bit. Not fully, but of her becoming Cruella. We're not going to see that Dalmatian stuff because, in a way, we kind of got those movies already of her progressing, of being like, you know what, fuck these Dalmatians. It is kind of nice how it shows fucking dog. It is cool how it shows that the progression of how she started, in a way of like looking at these dogs of just like, she was afraid of them as a child. You can't blame her. The fuck? and then in the future, these dogs are gonna fucking sabotage her at every chance, she wants to fucking make them as coats. Oh, yo, man, I'm swell, man. So, it goes, and obviously, there's like a necklace involved too that goes to it. I'm not gonna mention that because if you haven't watched the movie, I don't want to. Again, if you're watching this video, I'm not gonna spoil it a lot too much, but again, there were spoilers in this movie. And to be quite honest, the actress that played the villain, I forgot her name, but the actress, sorry, it's a mime. The actress that played the villain, she did not bad either. She really did not. She really didn't do that bad. I thought she was going to do pretty bad. And the thing is too, when people watched this movie, they got out saying the villain was nice and the main character was nice. And a lot of people think, and a lot of people, not again, some people, I should say some, not a lot of people, but some people really don't mind that. They're like, hey, if the villain's good and the character is fine, I really don't care if the story is shit. As long as the character's having fun and you get engaged and you be like, yeah, you know what, yeah, you know what, yeah, then you're good. But if it didn't do it for you, didn't do it for you, then that's fine. That's totally fine. It didn't do it for you. But it did it for me. It did. I don't know what that says about me, but I couldn't bring myself to hate this movie. I was ready to shit on this movie, to be honest. I was. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was ready to shit on this movie, but I was surprised, and I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Yeah, or 7 out of 10. That's how much I enjoyed it. That's how much I kind of liked it. In a spiritual enlightenment way, I'm not going to talk about it all that much, but you could tell that, I mean, obviously, already by now, this should be already, people should already know that there are all people out here that will kill fucking dogs and make them as coats. At this point, you should know. They do that to lions. They do that to zebras. They do that to lions. They do that to bears, wolves, leopards. All right. They already do that to animals. All right. So having a character from Disney that's doing that, it's telling you what the fuck's really true out here. But a lot of people don't want to point that out because, oh no, it's too painful to accept. Well, too bad. Is it too painful to accept that there was child sex trafficking? If you want to accept that, then there's a reason why it's keep going, because you want to accept it. They won't fucking speak up, basically. Fucking for real, man. Like, if you knew that shit was going on, you know? Like, fucking for real, man. And this is why Cruella wants to fucking slaughter dogs. You hear this shit? You hear my dog just... It's not even my dog, it's my mom's fucking dog. But you hear that fucking dumb dog complaining? Well, you know what? It makes sense. I'm going to call Cruella up right now and be like, yo, Cruella, I got some dog here that needs some tenting. And the thing is, too, she has dogs with her in this movie, too. One has like a fucking eye patch and shit like that, and the other one's like a dog that she, had as a child and shit like that, which I didn't mind. I didn't mind those characters and everything like that. There was moments of CGI with those characters. It didn't happen a lot, but it happened a little bit that you were like, huh. There are some CGI in this movie, but I feel like they didn't do to the extent of what you see nowadays with Hollywood movies. Not to say there's not CGI in this movie. For kind of long, remember the part when in the trailer when everyone thought that there was bats flying around and everything like that? You see, they're bats. They're mocking Batman. And I'm looking at the trailer and I'm like, it's not bats. It's most likely butterflies or moths and shit. And guess what? It looked like a fucking butterfly when it went on the villain. And the villain went like that and it flew it away. They'll because Cruella made a beautiful, beautiful fucking outfit, and then they hid it in a safe because they thought Cruella was going to steal the clothes and shit, and the main villain's like, of course she was steal my art because she's uncreative basically. But then everything, and then you start realizing that the dress that Cruella made, it literally or it's seeds, and I knew it too. I knew there were seeds when she was making the fucking dress, and when she was making the dress in the movie. I'm like, they look like seeds, and they're seeds for moths or butterflies, I believe. But I think it's one of those. It's one of. I think I want to say moths. I don't want to say butterflies. Because once the vault opened, all the clothes were fucked up. They were all eaten. All right. So there you go. So no, they will not buy bats for people who are like, oh, you see, it's the same thing as a Joker. They mocking the Joker movie. Yeah. Well, you still want to complain? Because that right there made you look like a bitch. And I'm glad it did, man. Because that part right there, I'm like, guys, those are not bats. Clearly they're not bats. But yet you guys thought they were bats. You guys look like idiots now, man. I'm happy. You guys look like fucking idiots, man. Jesus Christ. Yo, man. Yo, this fucking hilarious, man. Maybe you deserved it. Maybe you deserve to look like a fucking idiot. We're moving on, man. At the end of the day, man, if you haven't watched this movie, if you're still skeptical of watching this movie, give it a chance. I'll say give it a chance. If you still don't like it after watching it, that's fine. I'll say this. Emma is having fun. The main villain's having fun. And in turn, that kind of gets addicting, in my opinion, and I kind of got fun with it. Even when the main characters that played the side characters that work with Cruella, I had fun with them. For kind of loud. I had fun with Cruella too when she was being a kid and everything like that, and her mom died, her quote unquote mom died, and she was like, going to that water fountain in the movie basically, because that was like the last place that she stood at, and that was the place also when she met her friends. I don't know. I liked it. I didn't mind it. So that's really it. The next movie I'm probably going to watch is probably Luca. I'm hearing good things about Luca. It's funny too. I don't want to quote unquote be racist, but I've noticed that color people like Luca way more than non-color people. I've noticed that. I'm just like, I'm not saying it's all of them because there are some people that like the movie. Why? Because it's simple. And the thing is too, that's what I like about movies sometimes. You can do something simple. Yet when you do something simple, people want to riot and be like, "Oh, you're a big company. How could you do something simple? We want you to do specter and explosions and shit. Do it." And it's like, "Oh, fuck you. Sorry that they can't do something so simple that hey, it feels fucking refreshing." I'm sorry. Every review that I heard about Luca, everyone is like saying it's fucking refreshing because it's not like Coco or it's not like all these Pixar movies that they want to make it high quality and shit. And it's like, all right, cool, it's good and we love it and shit, but there's always something missing. Sometimes less is more. You know, I love Coco and all that shit, but sometimes you just need less of something, man. You know, like I'm not saying the whole dead part you can do less of because it was a whole part of Coco. You couldn't cut that out, you know. But when it comes to Luca, I haven't watched the movie yet, but from what everyone's saying, it's basically two bros hanging out. That's really it. A bromance story. A lot of people want to be like, "Oh, is Luca gay? Is this a gay movie?" People want to put their LGBT fucking views in it. Go ahead. Go ahead if you want to. It's fucking not. Go ahead. Think that way though, because oh, it's my movie. It's every once a movie's out there, it's not your movie. It's everyone else's movie. Sorry, even people in Hollywood that direct it even say that this is not my movie anymore. These are the public's view. All right. So just because you be like, oh, this is my movie and that's it. Oh, you can't say nothing else. These characters are gay. What? What? That's like saying Mike and Sully are gay because they hung down and they worked together and they helped Boo out. Are you retarded? Oh, they went to college together, so you know what? Maybe they all. Oh my! You just want to put your agenda. That's the terrible thing about that I'm seeing right now. You guys just want to put your agendas on stupid shit that really don't need to put on agendas. Why do you think they didn't do it in Frozen? They hinted it in Frozen too, but why do you think they didn't do it in Frozen too? Because all of you guys are like calm the fuck down. You're acting like you've never been you acting like you've never been interpreted in movies before. Yes, you have, and I know you're going through shit. A lot of people do, but go the fuck up. I don't have to get into that shit, but come on, man, come on. But that's just me. I'm looking forward to Luca, and tell me what you guys think about Cruella. Do you love it? Do you hate it? And I'm going to call Cruella up because, you know, she needs coats.